What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here, and this video is going to be part one of a series of videos that is designed to take a new player or a relatively inexperienced player and try to help them to get better. Now, I'm going to be using Mortal Kombat 11 in this example, and so a lot of the things that we talk about here, though they're going to be directed at Mortal Kombat 11, they apply broadly to just about any other fighting game that you want to get good at. Okay? So, let's begin. What qualifies me to be somebody that makes a video like this? Well, let me show you. So, I've put in a lot of hours. So as you can see, it says 331 hours. Really, it's much more than that. I've played over 1,000 hours between this and the PlayStation versions of this game. It's probably closer to 2,000, to be honest with you. I win about 82% of my matches. I've gone on a 45 win streak against people. Let me see. I've had exactly 4,000 casual PC matches, and I've won 2,700 of them. And this is my ranking. I don't know what this is out of, but it looks pretty good. I would imagine there's a hell of a lot more than 1,500 players. There's probably hundreds of thousands, if not possibly millions, And then as far as my characters are concerned, you can see that I have pretty decent win rates with these characters. Starting with Melina. I used to play Joker early on, but I stopped. But I do play Melina and all the characters above her, so if you look at these win-loss ratios and stuff like that, I do pretty good with a multitude of characters. It's about 13 of them. Now, don't put too much stock in win-loss ratios and win-loss records, because there are people that purposely pad their records by purposely beating up people that don't know how to play. I don't do that. I play anyone with a decent connection, and this is how well I do. So I think I can help you. Now, am I going to be as helpful as, say, tournament players will be? Of course not. Absolutely not. You would absolutely be better served by watching someone like Sonic Fox, Ninja Killer, Rewind, a Foxy Grandpa, any other tournament level players of this game and other fighting games. They absolutely have much more to offer than I do, because I don't have tournament experience. However, I see my role as someone that can help a pure casual or even a beginner and take them from beginner to a decent level of proficiency in these games. Okay, so let's begin. What's the first thing you should do when you pick up MK11? Well, I'll tell you. Now, this is not true of every fighting game out there, but Mortal Kombat 11 happens to have an excellent tutorial mode. And obviously you have the basics here, but you also have advanced tutorials as well. Character lessons are more elective, and therefore, if you want to try to learn a specific character, the basics. But my first order of business that I recommend is that you go through every single one of these first 3 rows of tutorials: basics, advanced, and strategy. Do them all. just like I've done. You see? And when I say do them, I don't mean do them so that you can go through the motions and try to get it over with. What I mean is really go through and try to absorb everything that's being taught, even to the point where you go and do some of these repeatedly, okay? Because you need to understand all of this. Like, there's nothing in here that's useless. You know, you need to understand all this. All of this. All of this. All of this. Y'all get the idea. All of this stuff is very, very important. And you're probably not gonna fully understand it all the first time you go through this. But I promise you that if you actually do go through each of these and you try to gain a really good understanding of them, without even picking a character, you'll be in a much better position to play this game. Speaking of character, the second thing you need to do is you need to pick a character. Who are you going to play? Well, I'll say this. It depends largely on two factors. One, it depends on what you care for aesthetically. Maybe you like playing as a savage like Baraka, or a god like Raiden, or you want to play as, you know, a movie star, or one of a multitude of ninja warriors here. Maybe you want to play as all the girls in the game. Maybe you only like Shao Kahn. Who knows, right? Or maybe you just want to play as Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger. Doesn't matter. In this game, in particular, you can pick whomever you want, because every single one of these characters is viable enough for you to get wins with online. If you put the time in and really learn your character, you can beat people using any character on this list. So, pick whichever one suits your fancy. Now, that was one of the things that you need to depend on. The other is, you gotta think, what kind of player are you? Are you the kind of person that likes to be all up in your opponent's face, trying to beat the hell out of them up close? Are you the kind of person that likes to sort of hang back mid-screen and wait for the opponent to do something dumb and try to kill him for it? Or would you rather, you know, just shoot somebody to death and, you know, use a bunch of projectiles to keep them as far away from you as possible? You have to consider your play style. And those playstyle types that I mentioned are known as archetypes. So there's a whole bunch of different fighting archetypes in fighting games. And the up close beat 'em up kind of characters, these are known as rush down characters. So in this game, Jax and Jackie are the easiest examples that I can think of that would be considered rushdown characters. These characters are designed to be in your face, beating you down up close. So if you like to play up close and personal, these are the characters you want to pick. There's probably a few others, like Liu Kang has some good rushdown. Baraka is, I would consider him to be somewhat of a rushdown character. And to a lesser extent, Rain is too. So those are the characters that you want to play if you want to be all up in people's face. If you're somebody that likes to hang mid-screen, you know, you like to get close to people sometimes, but then other times you sort of want to be in that mid-range. Characters like Johnny Cage, Shao Kahn, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, though Sub-Zero has another archetype which we'll discuss soon. Katana, Kotal Khan, you know, characters like that. These are more of your mid-screen characters. They'll be in your face. They don't have no problem being all up in your grill, but they're not really designed to do that for the entire match. They would rather be in that mid screen, wait for the opponent to miss an attack, and then capitalize on that with attacks of their own. They have longer range buttons that go further, and they tend to do well, you know, up close and afar. Then you have characters that are what are known as zoners. These are the ones that are designed to keep your ass at bay. Typically it's, you know, full screen, but sometimes they're just designed to keep you away from them. So RoboCop is a zoner. Scarlet would be considered a zoner. Jade and Cetrion, and to a lesser extent Rambo as well, along with potentially Shang Tsung. Those would be your zoners in the game. Now, those are not the only archetypes that exist. There's also another sub-archetype that is known as a 50-50 character. 50-50 characters are characters that make you guess between blocking high and blocking low. Sub-Zero, Terminator, and Sindel are examples of 50-50 characters. So you need to consider what kind of player you are. You know what I'm saying? Do you like to be in people's face? Do you like to chill and wait for them to make a mistake? Or do you like to zone and keep people far away from you and control how they approach? That choice is up to you. And the good thing is, in this game, you can sort of play, not only can you play all of those styles, you can play all of them oftentimes in the same match with the same character at different points. So that's pretty cool. Now, it's not this way in some other games. In other games, you also have grapplers, you have shodos, you have puppet characters, there's probably other archetypes that I can't think about right now, but you know, some of those are more specific to Street Fighter-esque type games. But you know, depending on the game that you're playing, it's gonna have its own particular archetypes that you know, may or may not gravitate towards. So depending on what you like, those are the kind of characters that you need to be picking. The good thing is, no matter what archetype you choose, it is wholly your choice. You don't owe nobody anything, and so if you can win and beat somebody strictly by throwing projectiles at them and keeping them far away, then you win like that. If you can win by grabbing them to death and keeping them up close and all that, you can do that too. So don't think that other people are entitled to dictate how you play and what archetypes you can use and what's considered quote unquote fair. Okay? That ain't nothing but scrub mentality right there. Alright? You play the way you want. Let your opponent play the way they want. Alright? And win. But with that being said, this concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, where I talk about normals, strings, specials, and most importantly, frame data. You dig? Peace.